Welcome to this lecture about critical viewing. Okay, for just a quick review, viewing is the fifth skill in learning. It is defined as an active process of attending and comprehending visual media such as television, advertising images, films, diagrams, photographs, symbols, drama, videos, drawing, etc. In short, it is about reading, which involves analyzing, evaluating, and appreciating visual texts. Viewing is an active rather than a passive process. Now let us talk about why it's important today. Studying viewing is important most especially today because first reason, the changing nature of communication has changed the curricula in a number of countries. For example, in Singapore, Canada, and Australia, two new skills have already been added to the traditional skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And what are those two additional skills? They added viewing and visually representing. Furthermore, it's important to study viewing because students like you are dealing with a lot of multimodal text today. What do we mean by multimodal text? So these are those that communicate meaning through more than one mode. For example, you do not only encounter written text, you also encounter meaning in audios, still pictures, moving pictures, also in digital multimodal texts such as videos, interactive slideshows, web pages, even in theater, storytelling, and even dance. Therefore, since you are encountering these texts, you need to understand them and to become more effective, active, and critical viewers in order to be able to participate fully and effectively in our society. Viewing, or the study of viewing, can help you, students, to develop the knowledge and skills to analyze and evaluate visual texts and multimodal texts that use visuals. Viewing can also help you to acquire information and, of course, to appreciate ideas and experiences which are communicated by others visually. Of course, just like active listeners, effective and active viewers would ask themselves a series of questions such as the following. Active and effective viewers ask questions like, what is the text representing? How is the text constructed? What assumptions, interests, beliefs, biases, and values are portrayed here? What is its purpose? What is my reaction to this video? And what causes this reaction? And so on. When you try to find the answers to these questions, you become more critical. And with your critical thinking, you can arrive at an effective conclusion. Arriving at a conclusion is, of course, the last step. But before you move on to that, you need to understand that viewing is a process, and it is as important as listening and reading. You should understand that effective, active viewers engage in the following procedure. During the previewing or before viewing stage, you need to prepare to view by activating your schema or your prior knowledge that you bring to study of a topic or theme. You need to anticipate a message. You need to learn how to predict things, speculate, ask questions, and set a purpose for viewing. As you watch, or during the viewing stage, you need to view the visual text to understand the message by seeking and checking understanding, by making connections, making and confirming predictions and inferences, through interpretation or through interpreting and summarizing, pausing and reviewing, and analyzing and evaluating. You should monitor your understanding by connecting your understanding to your schema, questioning, and of course reflecting. Now, after viewing, you have to react. You should be given opportunities to respond personally, critically, and creatively to visual texts. Students respond usually by reflecting, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Aside from being aware of the viewing procedure, there are also different frameworks developed by prestigious institutions to help students become better viewers. These models, which have been tried and tested with thousands of students at schools and universities around the world with great success, help to systematize viewing effectively into a language classroom. Now, despite the differences, these models actually share the commonality of the following. What's the similarity? They allow students to practice a routine of what? Observing, distinguishing details, interpreting, and reinforcing their ideas. These visual literacy frameworks help train students to become more critical viewers. Now, on this slide are 7 useful critical thinking skills that can be found in the models or the frameworks of viewing. We have number 1, analyzing. In analyzing, you separate parts from a whole. You dissect a whole and look at the details. Number 2, applying standards, which allows the judgment based on personal, professional, and societal standards. Next, we have discriminating, which is the identification of the differences as well as the similarities and then grouping them. We also have number 4, information seeking, which is the seeking of evidence for further understanding. It entails research, of course. Making sound conclusion based on evidence is called number 5, logical reasoning. The foretelling of consequences is what we call predicting, while the transformation of information to make it more understandable to others is the critical thinking skill of transforming knowledge. With these skills, you can enhance your critical evaluation of any information that you would come across. If you want to read more about the points mentioned in this presentation, most especially about the viewing frameworks, you may visit this website. Thank you for your time. This is the end of the presentation.